mean, I'm just big in general. I've always
Yeah.
been this big, but it's not like I've ever gotten any bigger because I don't know. I'm a bad example for women. You guys talk about that. I'm an outlier for women. I I look at a donut and I get an extra like shoulder blade. So
I mean, she really does. I mean, her arms are just always defined.
I'm a bad.
It doesn't matter if she lifts weights or
Relative to
not.
myself, I don't get any bigger. But I mean, I'm sure like other women looking at me are like, "Oh, that's too big. I don't want to be that big." But for you guys, I don't know.
Well, I'm sure you can look at yourself, Court, from like,
No,
the
I
last couple
apologize
of years.
if they start barking.
Huh?
I apologize if they start barking. This is
Oh,
always
no,
a
that's
thing.
okay. That's okay.
There's a deer in the front yard. Everyone needs to know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're protecting the house. You didn't know? Do you feel protected?
Totally. Yeah, if you hear the Doberman crying, she's like, "Oh my god." It's gonna go on for like 5 more minutes. But I'm so sorry. What were you saying, Kylie?
No, it's okay. I mean, if you look back at yourself for like the, last 5 years or so, I mean, I've seen a difference in my body from lifting. You know what I mean? Like if you saw me, I mean, even when I met Garrett 11 years ago, like I was this no arms having,
She was a twig.
like
Twig.
skinny, like, yeah. I mean, I had no arms, no back, no nothing. And I have tried so many different types of fitness. Like she said, I used to be a dancer. I used to teach dance all the time. And then we would just do just going in the gym and lifting, just getting strong. Right. And then we found CrossFit and now we're into boxing. And I just feel like the consistency has been lifting weights. And I definitely see my body changing. It's funny to me because most times I'm not like, oh my God, my arms are so big or my back is so big. But then I'll get a glimpse of like that one picture or that one angle. And I'm like, oh, like my back is pretty defined right now. You know what I'm saying? And I actually like it. So it really depends on the person. But like a lot of times women, I'm sure you experience this too. Women are like, I can't lift more than 5 pounds because like we said earlier, they don't want to get bulky. So for you, have you ever struggled with that type of mentality while you were lifting?
Me personally, no. There's 2 things I want to touch on is that one, to still be in 2023 and still have women say that to me to this day is so frustrating. That's still a very common statement. I don't want to get too big. Sometimes I'll get like a referral or a client reach out and they make it clear in like the second sentence, I want to be strong, but I don't want to look bulky. And I'm my girlfriend. You don't know who you're talking to because like when I'll do like a barbell, like Colleen knows this, when I like say like we got to do a barbell hip thrust, right? They want to strengthen their glutes to fix the lower back. You're minimum starting with 80 pounds in me, minimum. And it's just like, and they're like, oh no. And especially with arms, I noticed with women. Arms has been like it was funny. I was actually on Instagram today and I saw an old client I trained who she was like, my wedding's coming up. I can't get big. And she refused to lift more than 5 pounds. Mm-hmm. And I was like, but she wanted to lose like weight. And I'm like, but that's not a combo. Mm-hmm. So it's so frustrating that, and like, you can like post, all 3 of us can post articles saying, proving that statement wrong. And it still doesn't matter. It's unfortunately drilled into people's heads at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think you come into the gym and you see a woman like Sue, who's
love her.
Right.
She's
what, in her 50s?
Oh, she would love you for saying that.
I always thought she was in her 50s.
She looks amazing. Yeah.
And she's jacked as hell. I'm obviously not going to bring a picture up of her right now without her permission, but like she's jacked as hell. She moves well. She like squats, pushes sleds. And I don't think anyone would say she looks bulky.
Right? Not at all. Yeah. Her, Stacy, Jane, they look amazing. Rhonda.
Mm. Is that Rhonda? Is that little Rhonda that I love?
Little Rhonda, yes.
With the glasses.
Yep. And she's so toned. She's actually what a lot of women want to look like with their arms. The veins popping out, like, and she lifts her 10s and her 15s.
Yeah.
And Sue even has like a group, and I know because I can't remember her name either. Sorry, terrible at that. But she's the mom of somebody that I used to go to school with. At the time, the last name was Sarami.
Jane, that's Jane. Jane's also too. Yeah, Jane.
She's the mother of a woman that I went to school with and graduated with and absolutely loved to death. We were best friends, like lived down the road from each other, whatever. And they have their little group on Saturdays that go in there and work on sparring.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
They're awesome.
Amazing.
And they all look amazing. And I would not for 2 seconds tell you any of them look what society would say looks bulky.
Mhm.
They just look strong as shit.
And I strength trained 2 of them, and when they pick up weights, like
Yeah.
Susan made her PR of 175 hip thrust, and
Yay!
she's bulky. She is so toned. She's strong, and she's happy. That's
Yep.
all that matters.